Hey guys, how you doing? Jimmy V Live. This is Jimmy V. And we are on episode 13. And do we have a SmackDown show for you? Absolutely. We're going to get into things that we usually don't get into, but there's so much going on in the world right now that we have no other choice but to. And with further ado, let me bring my co-host in here. There he is, the man of steel himself, Mark Steele. How you doing, Mark?
Another amazing week, Jimmy. How about yourself?
Amazing, man. Amazing. A lot of crazy things happening. And we got great guests, fantastic guests again. We always say that because it's the truth. And there's certain things we're going to do here right now. I'm going to get right into this. And some people may be angry at it. Some people may not, but it's the truth. And, you know, I want to right now say right from the beginning to everybody, I'm not a doctor. I don't claim to be. Mark doesn't claim to be. We don't claim to be anything in the medical field. We are definitely nothing as far as epidemiologists. Me, what I do in the background is I'm an environmental health specialist. Mark does what he does with the schools. We teach and educate in the food and beverage world according to the regulations set forth. Now, there's some information I'm going to bring you today that has to do with our local health department, which is pretty much similar to all around the nation. This is how they determine what's going on. So those of you who don't know what's going on in our town locally here in Las Vegas, you know, we have, like everybody else, we went through the phases. Our governor said, do this, do that. Whether you love them or not, I always say that we're not doing politics. I'm going to give you statistics. And I always say, you be the judge. Okay. With that said, I got to change hats and go to the JVC hat because this is where I got to wear this hat. Now, this is new software to me, guys. I'm going to do this right here. And I'm going to definitely show you guys how this is going to work. Mark's going to love this. Jimmy came a long way from this here. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys something here. Okay. You see that, Mark? You see that?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Getting pretty high tech now.
Oh, here we go, man. I watched a couple of people here. So what I'm going to do here, this is the COVID-19 trends of Clark County. Now, people who are watching out of the area in different cities, and excuse my glasses, as you get old, you got to have reading glasses. If you look into the different trends, you can go on your local health department, whether it's city, county, state. And if you're in a different country watching, it doesn't matter where you go as well. People may be angry at this, okay, but you got to be your own judge, okay? This is an explanation, which I'm not going to go through a whole big deal about it, but they base everything on cases, hospitalizations. They base it on a 7-day daily average, okay? And they have the tables to show for it and percentage of people based on the average age. Now, what I want to show you, as this is actually as of October 24th yesterday, you could see the trends. Okay, you can see that way back in June when all of a sudden we had our spike. See the spike? And look where it's going. Right? It's going down. So the cases are going down in our area. Okay, and let me keep going with this now, where I'm going with it. Now we have the 7-day moving average, which is the hospitalizations. That's going down. Look, okay, it's spiked and it's going down. All right. Now, here's the deaths. It spiked. It went down. Yeah, okay. And you know, every death, it doesn't matter. One death is enough. We know that. We all agree that. But my philosophy to everybody who's watching is it spikes, it goes up, deaths, and it's going down. So from here, it looks like 1 or 2, and it went to 5. Okay, but it's not up here, 20. So we have a spike going downward. Okay, and you'll see where I'm going with this in a second. Here's our 7-day average, okay, of all the new cases by the age group. Lately, they've been saying that there's been a big issue with young children. Okay, well, let me see. 0 to 4, looks like me it's down. 5 to 17, looks like it's down. And now we get to the elderly, which was a big jump here. And they're under the 20% mark. I think they're right where the CDC states. And you can see as it starts jumping a little bit, 50 to 64. And of course, this is our biggest one right here. I would say the biggest one is 25 to 49, okay, and 18 to 24, which means now, does this necessarily mean that this is coming from the bars or the taverns? Or does this mean that it could be coming from pools? Could it be coming from private parties? Could it be coming from wherever? Okay. We'll just hold off for a second where I'm going. Okay. Now, here's the percentage of people receiving positive tests of COVID-19. It goes down. Okay. Now, the reason why I'm showing everybody this graph, okay? The reason why I'm showing everybody this graph is a simple reason, okay? They're blaming, and this is all dedicated to the taverns and pubs all over the place. And again, everybody else in jurisdictions, go look at those trends. What's happening is seem like they're singling out the taverns and the bars. The casinos are open. We always say we don't see the difference. I don't need these anymore. The key issue is, now switch hats again. All right, there we go. The key issue here is it really the taverns and the bars? Is it really the pools? Is it really the restaurants? Is it really working, separating? Look, we don't know, right? But one thing I do know, based on the criteria, it is a downfall. Again, I'm sure there's other criteria that goes into play with it, but I can only go what is put off on the local health district website, which states the trends are going down. I know that today there was different things that went on today, visiting test sites, the local government, big governments, they're all testing the different, and that's fine and dandy. But when you have trends going down and you say that the criteria of opening up is based on that, and then you don't hear nothing for 3 weeks, and then 2 weeks you're still closed, but this one's open, to me, what's going on? Okay, maybe we should have an update every week to find out what's going on. Hey, look, I'm just like it and everybody else. I do health codes. I do health inspection. Mark teaches. But is it really fair to the taverns and the bars to be singled out on the side when we have downward trends? And I know there's other criteria in it, and I'm not picking on anybody. But the fact of the matter is, this is where we're at. And, there's so many things that tie up into this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring our guests in because they've been hit real well. And you got to remember, a couple of weeks ago, we had another dedication to our program, which is based on the Fine Entertainment Company, which there was 2 people there, the VP of Operations and the person who handles all the marketing. And they were actually stating what they're doing for the COVID-19, how they're doing all the preparations, they're following all the codes, they're doing all this. But again, at that time, we were thinking 2 weeks later that we were going to get opened up again fully, to a level of what they were saying, phase 1, phase 2. And I know things happen. And again, there's criteria, but we've got to be transparent on everything from day 1 to day 2, because what's going on in town right now is there was a mandate set. Everybody knows the mandate, mitigation. There was set where, the local health district is not going to handle COVID-19 cases. It's going to be done to Nevada OSHA. And this is in our area, maybe different in other areas. And it's going to be business license. And all due respect to those entities of government, they're not into the health code. Okay. They may know something, just like the health department doesn't know everything what goes on in their departments. So everybody learn quickly. And when they get the directive, they're going to go out and they're going to mandate. And with all due respect to them, nobody was talking. Okay. And a lot of the taverns and bars out there were getting hit and still getting hit with OSHA, and they weren't following the regulation. There were some issues where they were saying that food, you cannot sit at a bar and have a drink unless you have food. So some bars had to be forced to get food, which is actually, what are you doing? It's not what the code was set forth on your grade card, right? Then there was some issues with people who had gaming. The gaming issues, there was a lot with that. You're going to you can't do anything on the bar tops, which everybody knows you can't with the gaming. So everyone started putting the partitions up. Okay. Now everybody's starting putting the partitions in because they want more. That's their livelihood in those establishments. So they're putting them in the areas of the dining room. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but watch out. Now you're defying the regulation against egress. So does that fall under Nevada OSHA? Are they going to waive that? What about the ADA? No one's thinking about that. Okay, but you got to do what you got to do to survive. And I understand that. I'm just putting this out in front of you because to me, it's kind of like, wow. Okay, let's get it together. Let's all work together. We all want to open up. It affects everybody. People are out of work, no matter what job you have. Okay, you know how it works here? All right. This is basically where we're at right now. Okay. And I'll get into education a little later with a funny story. Believe it or not, we're one of the lowest states in education and we're one of the highest states in unemployment. What's going on here? Okay. Whose fault is that? All right. In January, we were thriving. I want the positive aspect of this, but I want everyone to know what everybody else is going through. So with that said, I want to bring these guys in. Okay. They're phenomenal. They're good guys. I know them for a very, very long time. They run bars, 2 bars, and I'll let them tell you all about them. Here they are. There they are. John and Mike. How you guys doing?
Good, guys.
I know I said a mouthful, guys. You know what I mean? But it is what it is, right?
Yep.
And we have to be right and we have to be together. And I know it's affected you guys, in your establishments, right? Am I right or wrong?
It's been, yes, it's been detrimental to the business. It's been detrimental to this whole industry, Jimmy. It's really put a hurting on our staff and our ownership group. I mean, the bills don't go away. The license fees are still required. The gaming's still collecting their fees, even though we have no machines open. And those things don't go away. Our poor staff, 5 months almost out of this year now, have been unemployed. They've been on unemployment. So, I mean, just recently we opened the 2 bars with, food and beverage. Again, there's restrictions on that. You can't just come in and drink. You have to act as a restaurant only. So we have to put out food, or they have to order off the menu in order to get alcohol service. So
and in their bars, everybody is Bogies, right?
We're at Bogies. We got Bogies West on Cheyenne and 215, and Bogies East, Sunset, and Pecos Road. On the east side.
It's affected everybody. And and this goes right down in Mark's area too, and I know he'll elaborate on this. I look at it as certain ways, and Sonia looks at things, and my wife, she looks at things a different way out of the health code than I do. And she came up with something to share with you guys, because you guys bartenders trade, right? Okay, so now you have your regulars that come in all the time. It must piss you off that they're going to the casinos now. You know what I mean? For whatever reason. Because how are they going to come back? What's going to happen with that? Am I right? How do you guys feel about that? I mean, it's like, wow, everything's changing.
Well, don't you think that's part of why the bars were shut down in the first place? I mean, here, what kind of clout do the bars have compared to the casinos? The casinos were dead after their first reopening, and the bars were thriving. And now the bars are closed, and there's it has to do with clout with the governor.
I'm with you.
I don't want to get into all that political stuff, Jimmy, but I will tell you this.
Me either.
I'll be honest with you. We were open for 1 month. We got open June 4th, just like the rest of the town did. And we were visited at both shops 3 times by the Gaming Control Board. No violations. We do social distancing. We have the mask mandates in place. All the staff has been completely under control, controlling the customer base. Everyone has been, no one wants us to close down, Jim. So, you look at the customers, you look at the staff, the management team, everybody involved has done their part. And a month later, we were closed down. We barely made enough money in that month to survive now, so he needs to open up the city.
I want to give you guys a little technical term here, okay? And I want to put icing on the cake, but you guys may get a little bit mad at this. Just to let you know, I'm going to tell you the truth. Do you know that in the health code here locally, and again, remember, the way it works right now is if you are in a hotel or casino, the Southern Nevada Health District follows that now with COVID-19 complaints. Otherwise, if you're not in a hotel or casino, you are actually falling under Nevada OSHA with the gaming, and you're falling under the Department of Business license, whichever city you're in, okay? Now, with that said, do you know that the health code actually states that food is beverage? So that means incidental food. So food is beverage, okay? So I don't know if everybody knows the health code or not, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of other underlining reasons, okay? I understand that. But when you got you guys and other people out there who are in the food and beverage industry, especially in this portion of the food and beverage industry, that's really being affected by this, and you got the good people at the health department doing their job, what they're mandated to do. And, I work very closely with them. So that. They're very good people. The OSHA people, the people that are from the building department, and they're all, or I'm sorry, not building department, billing. They're all working because they're getting the directive to do so. But on the other hand, putting that aside, look how many people are affected by not working. Look how many jobs are missing because nobody's working. Look what it's doing to the industry, the vendors. This is not just locally, hey, you know what? The bars and people. I have people in my neighborhood, for crying out loud, running parties. And I had to go to the guy and I had to say to the guy, what are you doing? We're in the middle of a pandemic. Just looked at me, you know? And, you know, you got a lot of bad people out there. No matter what industry you're in, it's affecting all the industries. But what gets me really kind of upset is that we have to be faced in this situation. I only ask everyone to be transparent on it because it affects everybody, no matter who you are and what you do, you know? And it really bothers me. What do you think, Mark? Man, you've been sitting there quiet listening because I had a mouthful. What do you think, man?
Yeah, well, Jimmy, you're ready to go. You're fired up today. I think the last kind of step that just happened earlier this week, where the mandated was to keep the bars and obviously the taverns closed. I think that we're at the point, especially with all the stats that you were just showing us, that we were trending down. And we're going to talk to John and Mike. Yeah. You know, how can they be proven that they're doing the wrong thing if they're not open, right? They can't keep on getting their hands slapped and say, you know what, it's you guys. Let's stay closed. You know what? Let's prove them wrong and let's open up and let's see what we can do. And I kind of feel like that's the direction we should have been heading this last time, but you know, I'm not part of the decision making. So
exactly. And great.
That's one of the problems is where was the proof of the non-compliance, you know? And it's just crazy that, you know, bars and churches are closed, but gyms are open. And, you know, others that you expect that COVID could spread easier, you know, but it just seems like it's selected. It's handpicked on businesses they want to keep closed or not. You know?
It's unfair that they isolated the bars only, the bars and taverns, especially the ones without food. They're not open at all. At least we have some income with the food and beverage. However, I'm going to tell you guys, the biggest disappointment has been about 3-4 weeks ago. I think it was the first Golden Knights playoff game. The governor had his presser, and it was the best presser he gave. We were actually all very, because he came out. I think I may have made a mistake isolating the bars. I'm going to start coming down harder. There's going to be stricter penalties on the people not complying. Everyone in this industry thought that meant we were opening up. We all had full staff. We had full staff meetings. We were excited. Hey, we're going to be open, but guess what? We're going to be cracking down. They're going to be in here and invest. Just make sure everyone's complying with the rules. And guess what? We're almost 3 weeks, a month later, we're still not open. So,
yeah, I don't know. And you know what? Did you see on the news not too long ago?
We want everyone to be safe out there. We don't want to be part of the spread, but give us a chance to prove that it's not. How can it be the bar? It's not logical. We've been closed for 6 weeks.
I'm with you. I don't know. I don't know where all the criteria is coming from. But what I just showed you is what we have to go by because we're not behind the scenes. And I know there's probably underlining things, how they base everything on. But I'm watching the news the other day, guys, and there was a bartender. I forgot what channel it was. I don't know if it was Fox 5. I don't know. I don't know what channel it was. Regardless, there was a bartender. Okay, he worked for this establishment on the east side for many, many years. So he says, I have to get unemployment now. Okay, it's $180 a week for me if I get it. Okay, I have to go to Texas to go work, leave my family behind because Texas has looser rules that I can get a job and make money. I mean, come on. Where do we go from here with that?
You know, Jim, you're talking about the family. The whole truth is Bogey's has been family owned and operated since 2007. It's affected my entire family. I got 2 brothers work with us. Donna is part ownership with Saeed. And then I've been helping manage since 2007. So our whole family's been affected by it. You know, we don't visit our parents because we know that, you know, the repercussions if the older people are to catch something. We've been super careful with this whole thing. And we transfer that message on through the staff and everybody that's involved in the bar. So it's just, I mean, give us a chance. That's all. Open up.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you.
All right. Well, definitely.
Shift gears.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. You know, obviously we know there's some tension and there's some things that we feel like they need to be changed, but we'll just continue to do the right things and move on. But let's go back. So obviously it's affecting everyone as families. You know, Jimmy and I are both restaurant adjacent businesses. Our families and colleagues, just like you guys, are out there and hurting right now. But again, let's go back and let's talk about your family and how you guys got to the position and your places that you have right now. We always like to touch base with everyone who's on the show. You know, let's keep it a little bit more lighthearted. Let's talk about Chicago. Let's talk about where you guys are from, why you're Chicago fans, and let's talk about how you got to where you're at right now with a couple of successful businesses.
So I was born in. You want to go back from when I was born?
Yeah, I mean,
as far back as you want, man.
I can't go back any earlier than that. So let's start there.
So I'll say a little bit and I'll let him go. But you know, we're 100% Italian. Come from a family of 6.
Paisan.
Yeah, I come from a family of 6, 4 kids. You know, he's the oldest, obviously. And you know what is that? We grew up in a great suburb right out of Chicago, right outside Chicago. Great friends. You know, great sports. We're big sports fans, all Chicago teams, except the Golden Knights. We favor the Knights over all the teams. We're still Blackhawk fans, but, you know, that's kind of secondary. So, but anyway, and then we moved here in 1990, and the whole family moved out. And, you know, we went to UNLV and did different things. My first job in town was at Arizona Charlie's. As a sports book writer, you know, all I did up tickets and watch sports all day. And then I went to go work as a personal fitness trainer, and he took the job as the sports writer. And then just after that is when he got into the bar business.
So like you said, we've been here for almost 30 years. Actually, it's 30 years. This year.
September.
Yeah. And more or less the entire family's been in the bar industry that entire time. We worked in the sports book briefly, like he said, but since then, me and my sister bartended for 17 years. We've had various jobs. We've worked together at different locations, and we just love the industry. It's one of the best in the country as far as the food and beverage go, right? And when you get gaming involved, it's just a blast. I mean, people have fun. Your customers, it's like a Cheers atmosphere everywhere we've worked. And that's why we keep it in the family. They say you can't trust anybody like them, right? So,
yeah, that's the rumor. So, did your family have restaurants back in Chicago too, or what was the?
Johnny started over at Charlie's Lakeside, and then I got into the bar, restaurant, nightclub industry kind of in 1998, and then we've, like he said, we've worked 7 bars, and you know, had some great success. You know, different locations throughout the valley. You know, we've been all over the place. So, but everything's fantastic. You know, we always keep a positive attitude. You know, we all talk about this COVID thing or else, but you know what? Everything's, you know, we have really nothing to complain about.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
No, you got to be resilient. You got to keep moving. You got to keep going. I remember, Mark, I met them at Bogey's. Sonia and I would go do our little pushing the button thing like everybody does now and then, you know, and we met, I met them there at the Bogey's that used to be on Ann Road. Okay. And great family atmosphere. Like Johnny mentioned, it was great. Everything was phenomenal. We had a great thing. And when they were closing down, it was just so heartful. You know what I mean? It's like, wow, we can't go there no more. And then I was so happy when they opened up the 2 other places, you know, it was like, wow, this is great. You know what I mean? Now we can go, you know, we'll travel as far as we can to go see these guys. You know what I mean? Because they're good guys. And not because they're Italian like me, okay? People are going to say because you're Italian like me. Even though Johnny told me, he goes, he was interested in the name of my company. You don't think I remember that? Because JVC, your initials, right?
John Vece, buddy.
There you
but
go.
I gotta say, this West bar, both bars, the staff here, the location, the customers are fantastic. You know, we're really lucky to have both these bars.
Actually, I would like to give a shout out to the whole staff, Jimmy. Our staff has been so happy, so excited, even just to get back to work, even though there's no gaming yet, just to be here with their customers. The customers have been fantastic, just supporting us, having food and beverage. They'd rather come here than go down the street where there is gaming live now. They still show up here. That's how loyal our customer base is. You know, just like you guys, we've seen you guys all the time over at the old location. You know, we're a little further away. we still see you now and again. It's great. And
because all the bartenders are rock stars. They all have a good following.
they do.
They have
And
loyal
obviously, even
customers.
people have families. They've been through a lot in the last 5 months, and they've all come back super happy, just happy to be coming back to work. So, you know what? We're going to get through this thing. I don't know. Who knows what the future holds with this COVID, but eventually I'm assuming it's going to go away. We go back to normal and everything will be great again.
Oh, hey, you make your money. You make it. You get the people back. You know, people are going to come back to you guys. You know that.
Yeah. So besides playing Chicago sports all the time, what kind of specialty items you guys have on your menu? What's your next time I go in? What do I need to get out of there?
So we're actually right now we are forced to have a restricted menu, obviously, just like every other location. But we took these bars over from a Timbers, and we used their menu temporarily when we took over, just to make a smooth transition.
Sure.
Now we have created a phenomenal new menu. It'll be out in 1 month from now.
Okay.
We got stuffed jalapeno burgers, brand new Philly cheesesteak recipes. We got baseball sliders, which for those of you who don't know, it's a steak medallion sliders. Just phenomenal food. And then for football,
Don't tell them at all. Make them come by and see some of it.
For NFL hockey, we run specials all the time. So right now we're using happy hour in those spots. But yep, we got great drink specials, $3 drafts. You know,
and the best bartenders.
There you go.
So,
bartenders, did you notice?
So I know a lot of, you talked about a limited menu, that we have a lot of viewers that actually aren't in the food and beverage industry. So explain because a lot of people are going out to go to restaurants and go to bars now, and they can't get a lot of their same favorites that they used to get before. And when we were talking to a group from Fime Entertainment last week, they said they had issues getting Miller Lite, which should never be an issue. So explain to some of our viewers maybe some of the challenges that you've had with having to do a limited menu, the food chain, the beverage chain, how that's affected you and trickled down to your guests. Explain to them why they can't go in and get the same things that they've always been getting.
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, at this point now, the food chain seems to be reactive. It's not like it was. But in June, when we reopened after the 3 months off, it was a disaster. It was hard to get items. We use U.S. foods primarily. It was hard to get the items that we were used to getting. If nothing else, they were more expensive, which is not good when you've been closed, right? Now everything costs more. And then as far as the liquor goes, Coors had a problem manufacturing beer, which they had no Coors Light bottles. We had to use those metal bottles, okay? We had no draft, no mango cart draft beer for a while, a big favorite here at both locations. Pretty much everything's getting back stocked up as far as that goes, just a little more pricey is all.
And me and my girlfriend, we go out a lot, and there's paper menus everywhere, or you have to scan a barcode with your phone, and then the menu pops up on your phone. I'm sure you guys have been out, but that's kind of the normal thing now, So just getting used to and everything,
So I just want to make one more comment about being closed. All right, is this? They think you just plug back in and then you can unplug and you can plug back in. These buildings have been running 24/7 for years and years. Okay, the TVs, the air conditioners, the swamp cooler, everything that's about the freezers, the walk-ins.
Exactly.
When you shut those things down for months or a couple months or a month, you come back, your gaskets are dried up, so Pepsi's spraying everywhere. Your beer doesn't pour right. It doesn't taste good. You know what I mean? Not to mention the food loss, right? We donated food, both close downs. We donated to food banks and employees because they were going to be out of work. So the stuff we can freeze, we froze, but you only have so much room to do that kind of thing. So, they don't realize everything involved with the closing and the openings of these locations. We had to buy new TVs because these TVs run 24/7. You unplug them, they're not used to that. You plug them back in, you got a black screen. It doesn't work like that. So there's just many, many things involved with that the authorities don't when they're telling you, okay, shut down, okay, open up. So
I can relate because I don't know if you guys were in town in 2000. Mark was. He's probably involved in it just like I was. The Bellagio where we used to work had the great blackout. Okay, things that were running for all those years, all of a sudden it shut down for a week or so, and then all of a sudden you go back, everything doesn't work. Okay, all the refrigerators don't fire back. I know exactly what you're saying. And people don't take that into account. That's more money that has to come out of your pocket to get going again. I know.
Right.
I know.
And when you're talking about a big casino that has those resources, it's another story. When you're talking about a family-owned and operated location, it's a big struggle with those funds to keep things going, believe me.
And I know you guys put all the programs in. You followed all the directives. You did all that. I know that. And that's what's really good, because they can come to your place and people can feel safe. And Mark and I have been doing a lot of we've actually done a lot of the trainings that we've dealt with other people, and people were just starting at the beginning of this whole pandemic. And Mark and I were out there doing the trainings for everybody, and people really took it seriously. And that's one thing I can say about the industry here, the food and beverage. And I know it's probably all around, but I can speak definitely about here because I witnessed it firsthand. People take this seriously,
Oh, yeah.
and we all just want to get back to work. But Mike, you're doing something else now, aren't you? Besides being a bartender.
Yeah, I'm doing real estate. I've been in real estate for the last year and a half. Everything's going fantastic. I couldn't be happier. And, it was a little slow going at first to get into a new industry, especially at my age, 50 years old, but you know what is that now things are cooking. And the real estate market, there's a very low inventory of homes. It's definitely a seller's market right now. Homes, the median price is at an all-time historic record high. And but everything's going good for me. I got 2 going in escrow right now. I just got a new listing, so things are going great. So if anyone listening needs any real estate in Vegas, hit me up. Yeah. 702-704-0914.
Push it, buddy. Push it, because we have a lot of viewers.
Thanks, Max. Thanks for that, Jimmy.
We got a lot of people that are from, all over the country that watch. We got the people in the UK. He'll come on any minute. He usually comes on at about 3, closer to about another 10 minutes or so. And people want to come out here. They want to move out here. So I can definitely recommend a real good realtor for sure.
Yeah, baby.
So
that's got it. I'll help anyone, Jimmy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He's a great guy,
Right.
So that's fantastic. So what else is happening with you guys over there? And what are you guys doing? Johnny, how you doing? How's the family? How's everything going?
Everybody's good. As far as I know, my parents are doing well. Talk to them once a week. Like you said, we can't really visit them. My wife is fantastic. We do our best to get time going. That's it, man.
We normally have Sunday dinner every Sunday. My mom cooks up a good Italian spaghetti dinner. We haven't been able to enjoy that for going on 5 months now. It's crazy. But the other thing I got to say is about all the people that walk into these places, and people all complain about wearing a mask. I don't like wearing a mask. Who does? But you know what? When it says wear a mask, you put one on to go in the place, or you have a choice to stay home. But people walk in and say, "Oh, why I got to wear a mask?" It's not up to you. We all have to comply with this. The ownership and the customers. So I'm a patriot. I don't have to wear a mask. I'm a wolf. No, you're an asshole. Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, really, just, that's it. I'm a patriot, but I put on my mask. Do I like it? Am I wearing a mask in my car driving by myself? No.
No, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. This is what we're going through right now. Hey, I want to give you guys a little funny thing.
Jimmy, is I know this thing's a moving target, and they didn't realize at the beginning of June that the mask mandate was going to help. So the problem with Mike's explaining, they opened us 2 weeks prior to the mask mandate. So everyone was coming in without them, probably 50%, right? And the same thing, grocery stores, wherever you went, Home Depot, it was 50% mask wearing. Right. 2 weeks later, he puts the mask mandate in. It was hard to implement that into the systems where the customers had to wear them. So your older guys, like he's talking about, you got these guys who fought in World War II, they're coming in, or, Vietnam parties, or older guys that are believe in the rights and the Constitution. They don't realize that actually is the biggest help to not spread. So now everyone's on that page. They don't want us to see us closed. They're all willing to follow the rules, and that's what's happening now. So
what about you guys in the kitchen? What about you guys in the kitchen with the masks? Look what they're doing. They're absorbing all the heat, but they're doing it. They're doing it.
Jimmy, the bartenders, everyone's wearing a mask 100% of the time while they're on shift. They might be hot. I tell them take breaks, go in the cooler, cool off. If you got to go outside, out the back of the building, get a breather, that's fine. Take a little break if you can't do it for 8 hours straight. It's a long time with a mask on, but they're doing it.
They're doing it.
When I go out, if you could sit there and play and drink or whatever, but if you get up to go to the bathroom, you got to put your mask on to walk from your seat, whether it's 10 feet away or across the bar or across the restaurant or whatever. You put your mask on to go to the bathroom, and it's out of consideration for other people as well. That 75-year-old lady right there with underlying conditions, she might be scared to death, so I want to wear it for her, more than so for myself,
I'm with you. I guys got to give you shifting gears a little bit. Okay. I mentioned a little bit about the education. John, you guys have you have children, right? You guys have children. I know Mike does. No. Okay. And he's older though, right? Older.
He's 20. He's in the Air Force.
So he's out of the realm. Okay. I got Giada, who's 7 now. I got my son Steve, who's 15. Okay. To say the least, on my days off, me and Sonia split the shifts of being just like everybody else is going through it right now. We have to be the teachers, right? So it's very hard. Okay. We're doing it. It's tough. Today was easier than yesterday. I'm sure it'll get easier. My son calls me in today and he goes, Dad, he's laughing his ass off. I'm saying, what's going on? Steve, what's going on? Come here. So he's online. Okay. And he's in high school now. So he's got the whole thing pictured up and he's got like the 9 kids on the screen. And then all of a sudden he goes, look, and I'm looking. There's this kid who's broadcasting porn right in the class because you go in there with your, I said, this is insane. But the teacher can't shut it off because they invited him in and he explained to me. So all the kids are like this. And the teacher, the way she handled it was great. She just let it happen because I figured if she fought it, she probably thought that they wouldn't go away. So eventually it went away. But my God, what's happening with that industry? You see what I mean? So everybody's affected in some way. But the positive of this whole thing is this. Look, we're going to turn around. We're going to be good. It's going to work out. You guys have an excellent business going. You guys have, you guys are great people. You have great staff. You were mentioning you have a chef. Where is he? He's going to come in and say hello. What happened to him?
He's busy cooking, Jimmy.
Johnny's
I didn't want him to steal the show. That's why we didn't bring him in.
Is that the guy who's been sending some emails here?
Bringing back the hockey playoffs, just having sports back. That was a big breakthrough for the bar industry and for us personally. We're big sports fans.
I wouldn't have minded staying home if there was sports on.
But now with the hockey playoffs have been phenomenal. I mean, a couple days I took off. I watched it for 9 hours straight. There was 5 games on a daytime, nighttime, everything, right? Throw the nights in there, it gets even better. Now NFL is going to be starting over, right? It's going to be great. So baseball, football, hockey, golf, at least we're getting progress, right? Instead of everybody not being able to do what they do.
And I really believe
these are positive
the NFL football season is going to give a little boost to the Vegas community. It always does. How we normally are cooking during football season, so I think the NFL season, and sports betting and all that is going to help. Obviously tourism's not going to come back until next year, conventions and stuff. I mean, that's what, fuels this city,
Well, Jim, it's just another thing like he's talking about. I mean, football and NHL, it's a big sports bar. And when people are you got to keep them separated, 6 per table. You can't have big groups of people, but everybody's okay with that. If they bring 10, 12 people in, they have to sit at 2 separate tables to keep their distance. It's okay. We're getting through it, right? So, I mean, we're at half occupancy, right? If our occupancy is 150, we can't go more than 70 people. We're not even close to that. It's just the tables are spread out, and we're doing the best we can. We're looking forward to the bar tops opening up, though.
The vendors are back. They're backed up to speed and everything. They got all the supplies you guys need.
The vendors have been good. Yes, they were struggling too. Like Mark asked, June was a tough month to get the vendors back on track, but everybody's good now. Yeah.
So
you can't shut those guys off. I know a lot of my reps from these vendors are out of work still. It's all computer generated. I got to do my orders online or call in the main offices to put these in. No more personal visits from the vendors like we always had.
How about, we kind of touched a little bit briefly. How about some other silver linings? Everyone that we've talked to has found some kind of silver lining of new systems they found out or new personal time. Is there anything in particular that you've been able to say, hey, you know what, maybe we should have assessed this a little bit more before, or what good has kind of come out of this so far?
Do you have an answer?
Personally, professionally, anyway.
Well, my dog's happy because she gets walked more often. And I think
Probably
that was the big thing with the silver lining when in the beginning of middle of March through April, when the weather was still nice, was a lot of people were off of work. Sure. And it was the beginning of it all. And people were spending more times with their family. They were eating more home cooked meals at home, all kinds of different, like you said, so different positives, to take off of the negative. But, what is that? Just keep moving forward. Every day is a good day.
And another positive is we're going to have all 4 sports and golf going on at the same time in about 2 or 3 weeks from now.
Yep, a dream come true.
Yeah, too bad we have to go to work, or you guys have all the games at your work. So that's
it's too bad. It's too bad because we have part season tickets. And sure would be great to be able to see the Golden Knights, especially as good as they are and everything. I'm saying they're going all the way this year. I'm saying it's our year. If we didn't get robbed last year, we could have won it.
Yep, I think so. We talked about that. You know, they're real good. And everybody was saying, and what's going on with the goalie now? Come on, you got to go with the hot guy. I mean, it's the way it works. In any sport.
The last thing we needed, though, Fleury's okay with the situation right now. Last thing they need is any controversy in the locker room. So I like how they squashed it right away. I mean, it's been on the NHL channel. It's been that kind of thing. But just while we're on that, I want to mention Bogey's has season tickets that we give away every month. And it's unfortunate because the 4 people that won the tickets from March never been to a game before. We were super excited to send them off to the game. We give them our parking passes. We do all that for our customers, and they got ripped off because the season got cut short. But we're going to make it up to them when we get back on. So I know we're still paying for those tickets. We got them for the next 5 years, and we're going to continue. We give away 4 sets every month to the 2 bars, and we're going to continue doing that. So I think next season they're talking about starting in December?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. You guys I remember I got involved in one of those little pools. Remember to pick the teams? I got good the first one. I was rolling for a little while.
Your wife picked those.
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah. Anyway, we got that going on right now. We're in first or second out of 16. Yeah.
That's excellent. I mean, the fun things like that we miss. We miss that.
No wagering.
Entertainment purposes only.
Oh yeah, of course. But that's what people don't realize. Probably people don't realize. I'm sure it happens all over the country. But when you have a bar and a tavern, it's the gathering, right, Mark? Am I right? You explained it well that last time, right? How did you?
I mean, hospitality is all not just. It's not about sitting around and just having a beer and hanging out by yourself. I mean, there's occasions where you want to do it, but it's all about the interactivity of not just your fellow people around you, but your servers and your owners and your bartenders as well. I mean, you're not just buying. I had a boss that always used to tell me, he's like, Steele, these people aren't just buying a beer here. They're buying the rest of everything else that you have to offer, and it includes the interactivity of the people as well. So,
sure.
Mark's hit it right, Jimmy. I just want to say one more thing. That is, when he first initialized closing the bars down, he was following protocol with Arizona, California, Florida, because they were hotspots, and this is the advice he took. Where my argument is this: Vegas bars are not similar to those. You're talking beach bars, college bars. These people, I went to Arizona State. Those are college bars. You're there to pick up girls, meet your 20 friends. Vegas bars are video poker. The most contact you're going to have is maybe 5-6 people while you're sitting there playing games. A lot of people don't even want to have any contact, right? Mike can vouch for this. He watches these people all night long gamble, or they come in with a smaller group. It's not like those other locations. So that's where we felt isolated and alienated by this decision. That was my initial argument. So
I don't know what's going to happen because I didn't even hear an update. What's going to happen next? I haven't heard.
No, people keep asking me, oh, so 2 more weeks and then they're going to open?
We keep crossing our fingers
2
every
more
week.
weeks and then they're going to decide.
You know, there was a lawsuit with the bars versus the governor that got squashed. Then the task force was going to come in, you know, take the pressure off the governor, and they voted unanimous 2 more weeks. So I guess we got to wait 2 weeks to find out.
I hope it's got to change. It's got to change. We need everything back. You know, you got the restaurants out there. Mark always talks about the different people in the restaurants. He goes out there a lot with the restaurants and he visits them and he says he sees everybody fine. Right, Mark? I don't want to speak for you, man. You see it. You go out there a lot with the wife, right? You see it.
We're out all the time, and you know, obviously we're taking safety and places that we've gone to before and feel safe. I mean, I think that's where and John, you had a great point before, is that our bars and restaurants are unlike a lot of other places that people are going in and some want to be secluded and you might not have the interactivity of the college bars and everything else like that. But, you know, when some people are going to the places, and Mike, you were talking about going out with your girlfriend right now. Where are some of the places you go? You're not going to new places and trying the hottest new spot. You're going to places where you feel comfortable to begin with, where you've had some great interactivity in the past, where you know you're already safe, where you know you have a voice. And, you know, I mean, this is where it's really hitting home to a lot of, you know, great operators like the two of you.
Right. And, you know, that's going out, you kind of have an idea of what's going on, and rather than just what you hear on the news and stuff. But one thing I noticed is I've been in the Red Rock. I've been to a few different casinos, you know, since the bars shut down. And they are not doing as good of a job as the bars were doing. You know, a customer gets up, we're there with the sanitizer and the spray, 2 different sprays, wiping that machine down, the seat down, everything around there immediately. You know, that was not going on at the casinos, you know, and it's just not fair. It's, you know, it's funny to see that and then have them leave that open and shut down the bars, you know. And when I go to bars, there's no bars that are laxed on wearing the masks or
cleaning.
Or
Nowhere.
They made that very clear during the, you know, before they opened us back in June, what was going to be, you know, that was before. Now at that point, it was still the surfaces were a big issue. Now it's more the, you know, the breathing. It's more focused on that, but we still are keeping all our cleaning up. These girls never stop cleaning. Our bartenders, our staff never stop cleaning. Like he said, we actually have signs out there saying this table's been sanitized. It's safe to sit at. You know, we've been implementing that at both bars for over a month now, and it's just, you know what, you were talking about silver linings. That's one of them right there. Is if nothing else, we've always, if you look at our reviews, you'll say cleanest bar in town. We've always focused on that, being bartenders in the past, and then doing what we're doing now is cleanliness. People come back. People notice those things. I know when I go out, that's the first thing I notice. I'm a very observant guy. I notice the bathrooms. I notice the tables, the machines. If there's ashes anywhere, not clean ashtrays, whatever you're looking at, that means a lot to people, especially if you're in the industry. You really notice those things. So, you know, my wife is just like me when it comes to those too, and she'll point them out to me like, you know, look at this space, you know, or something like that, but not anymore. So that's one of the silver linings. No matter where you go, the spaces are clean.
You know, he's always had great relationships with the health department guys. You know, always gotten great reports at all of the bars, you know. So he has good relationships.
It's because he cares.
You, Jimmy.
Well, no, think about it though. Put me aside, you know, it's you guys care. That's the key. You care. Okay. Don't get me started on what we were talking about earlier, because I can give you a name who doesn't care. Okay. But I'm not going there. But you guys care. And that's what the industry is all about. You know my motto, right? It's far better to be proactive rather than reactive. You guys do that. You know, you can foresee an issue before it happens, you know, and you know, we got our friend Paulie that jumps on the top and fix things, right? We got, there's always some way to do things. You know what I mean? You guys are right on top. One thing I want to say though, I know Mark's special time at the end here, because we can talk all day. Mark always asks a special question. I know Mike's got a lot of these stories here. So, Mark, go right ahead, man.
Yeah, I'm kind of scared about the response I'm going to get from these two guys over here. So, but yeah, I'm actually going to ask the question, and then Jimmy, I told you I got to jump off a little bit early right now. So
no problem, buddy.
I'll catch the replay later on. But we always like to ask. You guys have been in town for 30 years. You guys an Italian family, sports fans. I want to hear a cool Las Vegas story that is unique, that if you live somewhere else or when you were living in Chicago before, you're like, there's no way in hell this had ever happened. But now you live in Las Vegas and now you're like, wow, this is a story that is something happened to me, a gambling story, a personal story, a meet with a celebrity, just something that is exclusive to Las Vegas. That's something that happened to both of you.
Well, I can tell you about a
off. So
All right, Mark.
Nice to meet you guys.
Next week.
Mark.
Go ahead, guys.
I just have a quick story about Vegas. I had
Don't worry about quick. You go for it. Take as long as you want. Go for it.
I can tell you it was back in the 90s. I was bartending at the time, and as everyone knows, you do not get paid if you are injured on the job or if you get hurt, you're working for tips. So when you can't show up, you are not making money. So I was off work for 2 weeks. I had sprained my ankle going to hiking with my Dobermans up in Mount Charleston, sitting on my butt for 2 weeks, finally able to move around slightly. And I moseyed over to the Gold Coast at the time, went in, made 3 hockey plays, and was walking out there. Mega Bucks was $12 million at the time. It was like the biggest jackpot ever. I think it starts at $12 million now. So I was going to put my last $100 bill in there, and the carousel was too deep. And I said, nah, I'm not going to wait for this. I'm just going to waddle out of here. So I'm leaving, and I noticed the $5 progressive machine was $35,000, which is, it starts at 20. It's almost double, right?
Right.
Threw my 100 in, played a few hands, caught a full house. That was like $400. You're playing 25 a hand. Anyway, I'm sitting there, and they're the giant machines that you see on the street, that you walk in the Fremont, and you see them. And so anyway, I get 4 to the room. I'm like, all right, I'm going to play it down a little bit, and then I'm out of here. And so I played like 2 more hands, 4 to the Royal, got the 5th. I got the King of Spades. I remember it like it was yesterday. It's 25 years ago. And so I hit the Royal, and nothing happened, Jimmy. I'm staring at the machine going, didn't I get it? Didn't I get it? All of a sudden, bells, whistles, everything. I had about 40 new friends behind me, waiting for your tip. And, a handout. But anyway, I won $35,000, bought my first house, put that down on my first house here. So that's one of my best Vegas stories, besides meeting my fantastic wife. I got to throw that in there. That's really the best thing that's happened to me, meeting Beth. So I'm sure Mike's got one to top that.
Oh, no, Mike told me he has stories, and this is his time, man. Shine, buddy.
I don't think I can top that. Anyway, I have a funny story. It has to do with the health department, actually. So, well, I started off personal training and stuff, and there was I started off Gold's Gym 1991 on Sahara and Decatur, and a lot of famous people ran through there. Anyone that came to town worked out there at the time. It was really the only gym. Now it's loaded with, gyms. But and I trained a few, well-known people in town as well. But going on to this other story, so I get a job in 1998 at the Crazy Horse 2. So I'm working the afternoon shift, and the health department comes in. So everyone's on high alert. Oh, the health department. So we had a 3-sink system there, the soap, the rinse, and the sanitizer. So the guy comes back, the inspector, and there's a guy, Tony Rayo, there, and he's straight out of New York. And he's got his sleeves rolled up, and the guy comes, he says, okay, what do you got here? He goes, this is where I clean the dishes. He says, yeah, what do you got? He says, bing, bang, boom. He goes, what? He goes, bing, bang, boom. He goes, no, I don't know what that is. He goes, bing, bang, boom. He didn't know where the rinse went. He didn't know where the soap went. He didn't know any of it. He just knew he stuck the glasses in one and then right out of there. But the guy he was cracking up. He'd never heard anything like that before. And then another one over at the old Crazy Horse there was a guy, toughest guy in Las Vegas history, this old guy, Mo. and Maurice, and he was a giant of a man. And they stick him back behind the bar with me one night. He's wearing his tuxedo, right? He's a giant. And people would come up to him and say, I'll take an apple martini. He goes, no, you won't. A beer or a shot, right? So I'll take a Long Island iced tea. He goes, go talk to him. So anyway, it was just funny because those were the old days. And that stuff would have never flown these days. You know, back then we really knew how to turn on the charm, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, just good stories, great memories. I worked with some good old timers, Joe Blasco and the guys. And that's another place that a lot of celebrities came through, was the old Crazy Horse too, you know, but that started my whole thing in the bar industry. And then over to Kilroy's over on Buffalo.
I remember Kilroy's.
Yeah,
which basket of fries, man, the pepper fries. I remember that.
Oh, those are my wife's favorite, those pepper fries.
She loved those.
They were great.
We had 20 burgers to choose from. They got voted best burger in town for 20 years from the Review Journal. That was my first slot bar I worked at. And then, you know, eventually working for Johnny and Donna, you know, at Bogey's. And, you know, just fantastic times and great memories, you know.
That's great. And I want to push all this. You guys tell me what this is right here coming up. There's a link here. And does that link to your website and everything?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yep.
I want everyone to know, because I want to push these places. I mean, this is fantastic. Great guy.
I don't know what that is underneath, but bogiesvegas.com is the website.
Okay. They go ahead and they copy it down and they can paste it into the site. Yeah. And who's this gentleman here that put it out there?
That's Bobby Gruen.
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
a friend of Mike's and ours, the family for
Excellent.
Since second
Excellent.
grade.
since second
Yeah,
grade.
and then I want to make sure that
Great
people know, okay, where you're at. This is the West Side place, right? This is the Bogies on the West Side.
Thanks,
Okay.
Jim.
Where's
No
Sonia?
problem. Huh?
We were promised we were going to get
Oh
to see
man,
Sonia.
I don't know what's going on. And let me hang on here, man. Hang on. Promote yourself a
On
minute.
the East now. That's Bogies East. For those of you still watching.
Okay, take over.
So, Mike, I'm going to ask you a few questions.
What are you?
All right, she's coming, man. She's coming to say hello, guys.
All right, all
Say
right.
hello. All right, she's coming right now. All right,
Yeah,
she's
we've been
coming. Here
waiting.
she comes. Here
We
she
were
is.
promised. We were promised 30 seconds.
All right, come on, son. Come on. There you go. Come over here. Remember, you gotta look over here, not over there.
Yeah.
Hey guys, how
Sonia.
you doing? Nice
Hi,
to see
honey.
you guys.
How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I just want to say that I miss, you know, going to your places, and every time I walked in, my beverage was ready. The service was always wonderful and obsolete. And you guys always did the right thing prior to the pandemic. So, like you were saying earlier, you know, you and your wife look at things, and try going to a pizzeria with my husband and he says, look at the apron. And if you see the marinara on the apron, you know, the guy's not washing his hands.
Hey,
But-
Sonia's the reason we had to start handicapping our office pools when we were using them. She was
She was too good. She was too good.
But
one entry per customer, Sonia.
you know what? We always had luck with you guys because you guys were always positive
Yeah.
and always together, and hospitality at its best.
Yeah, absolutely.
And family very tied together, and that's what made us want to come back.
Thank you
Right.
guys so much. We really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
yeah.
Wow.
But one thing that we did have to do is we had to come prior to 4. You know, because you guys got busy at the
At
band
the port.
location.
Remember that? Yeah.
Yeah, you were there at 3, right?
Yeah, you remember
Right.
all the time. We had to run
Yeah.
because we had to pick up this guy. Where
Yeah.
are you? Come say hello. Come on, come say hello. Our
Yeah.
son don't want to say hello, but we used to have to go pick up him back in the day. You know, back we had to go rush and get him. Remember, he did the karate right next door. So so we had to go get him. I remember.
I remember the stories. Him sticking up for his sister.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know what's sad to me is that you know you see your regulars that can't come in, and you know they're going to the casinos, and that's how you guys were making your money. And you know it's really sad, you know, what's happened to the industry. You know, because when the governor would say something, you guys didn't even have a week
Oh yeah, that's
He
another
wouldn't
thing.
even give you 48 hours to. All right, let's go buy masks.
It's like
let's-
tomorrow. All of a sudden,
Right.
we're opening everything up. Oh, we're closing down the next day.
Yeah.
Well, wait a second. I know. I could get you guys started. I know, and it
Yeah,
goes on.
playing with our emotions here.
Yeah, I
don't
know.
think-
I know.
To be
I
honest
know.
with you, it's part of that argument. People are saying, why are pools, casinos, this and that open? But I don't want any of them to close either. We need this entire industry open for Las Vegas economy. Right?
Exactly.
It's just a matter of the bar tops here. We're talking about 1,800 bars between our county and Warsaw.
Absolutely.
So, those 3 counties that got opened up, there's about 18 bars. We're talking 1,800 bars are closed, right?
Right.
So you're talking a large part of our economy here. Big staff, a lot of people out of work. So thank you
No,
guys
I'm
so
with
much for the plugs. And
Sonia, you're looking great.
Oh, thank you. I really miss you guys. You
Yeah.
guys are so wonderful.
How do you like the
Love you
bling bling
guys.
hat? Look at the bling bling hat.
Yeah, nice. That's gonna bring the Knights luck tonight.
Yeah, that's right. For sure. Oh, they're not gonna need it. They'll do good.
But you know what?
Yeah.
There's one thing that I wanted my husband to ask, and I don't believe he did because I'm, doing the homework, with our daughter. Isn't there food in a Bloody Mary?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, but that goes back to what I said.
I found a loophole.
There you go.
There's hundreds of loopholes, right? That's just another one.
There you go. There's your loophole. No, it's true because I said it's incidental
It's
food.
true.
The beverage is food, But that's great. You come up with that. Yeah, I didn't ask him. That's great. That's
Uh-huh.
great.
It's an idea.
Well, guys, great, man. We'll see you soon. Thank you very much. It's been great. What we're gonna
Thanks
do
for
is
having us, Jimmy. Stay safe.
hey, do you guys want to appear sometime with Eric? I mean, he's gave me about 45 messages for you guys, We should get, what I want to do is get
why
different
not?
bartenders on at once,
Why not?
You guys, Eric, if you guys get anybody else, I'd love to bring you guys all on, at one time.
Next time we'll bring Donna in also, the owner.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it seems like it's getting good ratings. Because last week we had the wives on with the chef, and Sonia came on. I told Mark, "Where's your wife?" But he's in the school and she's home. But we're gonna do something like that because it's good, man. It's good, guys. Thank you very much, man.
Thank you, guys. Keep the faith.
It's been great. Have a
See you
good one.
soon. Thank you,
All right.
guys.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.
God bless.
Bye bye.
See you guys.